Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Augmented Reality workshop. I'm so excited to see so many people showing up. Hopefully, you'll get some overall idea of what augmented reality is and what you can do on the web. And I have code samples for you. I have lots of resources where you can find like 3D assets and everything else. So I'll get started. So most people, when I talk about augmented reality or virtual reality, they think that it is for game developers. And it's actually not the case. There's so many solutions that you can build with augmented reality and virtual reality. And here is one from the news. Scientists believe that virtual reality glasses will increase the milk production of the cows in Russia. So my name is Ayşegül, and I am working for Microsoft. I'm a developer advocate, which means that can we mute all? Okay. Okay. So which means that I talk to developers all the time, and
I'm
hello. Okay. I work for Microsoft. Basically, I talk about virtual reality and augmented reality. We call them also mixed reality. I also work with the group who decides and works on the Immersive-web, which is web standards, like how this augmented reality and virtual reality is going to work on the web. So we have a group that we work together, and you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, everywhere, AYS something, because it's really hard to spell my name and I don't want you to. So you can find the slides at bit.ly/WebAR slides. And there are lots of links on these slides, so you might want to take that, and I will remind you if you forget. So what you see in the movies, I'm not sure if everybody is familiar with the terminology, so I'm going to just talk to you about what is AR, what is VR, augmented reality, virtual reality, mixed reality, and we also say XR sometimes, and it's all confusing. What augmented reality stands for is adding some more information to our normal reality. It could be 3D models, it could be more information. And in this very old movie, this guy has a screen, which is not an actual screen, but it's a virtual screen. And I think he's wearing something and he can control it with his hands. This is a very old movie. Actually, this is true now. And this is the HoloLens, which this doctor is wearing. And it allows you to control the application with your hand, which is really, really good, especially in an environment like a surgery room or in times like this, right, where we don't want to touch anywhere because of the contamination scare. And because this movie is old, they're also transferring the information using this weird stuff. But actually now everything is on the web. We don't have to do that. We can do send information on the server. And slowly, well, these headsets are very powerful and they have all of these controls, but it's slowly coming to the web. Web is falling a little bit behind, but there are all these libraries and things that you can use. For example, there's this hand tracking JS, which kind of can tell where your hand is. And we have similar stuff with face as well. So what you can do, this is one of the applications where you can create a tutorial for some person who doesn't know how to operate this thing, how to fix this thing, and basically you can put the information in 3D space. So anyone else can come in and then follow the instructions to the place and then fix the thing. So this is using a technology called anchors. And if you're curious, I have the resources down below with the down arrow, and you can learn more. Another very good use case is that when somebody else is working on something, another person who's an expert can log in, and then they can see exactly what they're seeing, and they can also make drawings to say, this is where you need to do something. And Terminator, this is another old movie. I'm not sure if you're familiar. So basically what's happening is that it's identifying people and objects and giving information, extra information about it. And there's another tutorial. If you click the link below, you'll see. But what do we have today? What exactly do we use day to day? One of the examples is Google Maps has an augmented reality application where when you come out of a train, for example, you are not sure which way to go. It tells you something street, but you don't know where it is. Then Google Maps adds these arrows for you to your word and telling you exactly which way to go to, which is a really cool application. And in a world where there's just so much information, it is really much more intuitive to pull all of that information in a 3D model, because we all understand the information in 3D much better. And this is another example. So, and on the other hand, there's virtual reality. Just wanted to clear for our purposes. So this is a virtual reality headset where you have no connection to the outside. This actually have some cameras looking outside, so if you want, you can see it. But in what we mean by virtual reality applications is when you are absolutely immersed in a 3D virtual world and you have no connection to the outside world. That also has a lot of use cases other than games, like looking at the data or training someone to be a firefighter, for example, which if you do it in a real environment, it will be so hard, but it will be very easy to do it in a virtual environment. So lots of great use cases there too. And this is all a range, right? We have some information, well, we have the real world, and then we can put some information on top of it. Could be audio, that will be augmented reality as well, or it could be 3D information and models and everything else. And on the other hand, and we have the virtual reality, which is all digital virtual world that you're absolutely immersed. So we all call them mixed reality or XR, or because we don't know what exists in between yet. We are still discovering tools. Anyone have any questions or any app ideas that you would like to ask if this is possible or not? Please send it to the chat. Or I can answer later on our Discord channel too. And this is the application. This is an augmented reality application that I have. This is a 3D model of a very old building. It was a church. It was an amazing place called Saint Sophia. It changed over the years, and I used to live very close to it, and this is very important, dear to me. So what I do is get that model from this website called poly.com and add it on a
hello, you're muted right now. Oh, yeah. Okay, sorry.
Okay, no worries. So this is the Poly API. For you to be able to use this example, you have to sign up for Poly key. Here are the instructions. Basically, you just sign up for it and get an API key. And once you create a project, I have multiple projects. Once you have it, it will give you a string that is your API key. And I'll show you my project. This is, does anyone use any of the code editors? Which ones are you guys familiar with? This is Visual Studio Code. It's free if you would like to download. And this is my project's folder structure. And I have a config example.js. So what you will do is add your key right here. Whatever it is, you just copy and paste it. So we do this to just get to any model that is on poly.com. I'll show you the poly.com. Oh, no. Okay. So this is the website. It has lots of models. And basically, if you have the API key, then you can include any of the models that you like. And are you guys familiar with GitHub by any chance? Anyone can answer on behalf of the rest of the people. So this is where my project is, where you can download my repositories. Okay. I'll copy and paste it to our chat. Where do I find our chat?
You just have to go back to the Zoom and then chat.
Oh.
So complicated.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry I muted you as well. That was not intentional.
I might need to be muted at some point. That's okay. Do you think this is it? No?
No.
Okay. Never mind. I have a short link for it. I think it's in the slides. But anyways, so this is where the project is. What you can do is, if you're familiar with Git, you can clone it, or you can just click here and download the zip and use that as your base project, and you can change it any way you like. And that's not cheating. You can use this project and any of the other projects that I have here. You're welcome to do that. And I hope you do that. So to be able to use this project, you have to first get the API key for Poly, and then put that on a config file, which I have the example here, but my actual config is right here, and this is my key. So you have to do exactly the same. And the information, like how to do that, is also explained here. And okay, let's go back to how the code works. So first, we are going to use Three.js. It's a really cool library, and it has tons of examples. If you go to the Three.js website, you can see all of the applications that are built with it. It has great documentation, great examples, and you can choose and select any example. And then if you click the thing on the right bottom, do you see it? I don't know if you're able to see it. You go directly to GitHub where that code is. So basically, this is in one file. You can copy and paste exactly the same code and use that too. So this is a great resource. All right. So to start with, we will import the code modules that we are going to use. So these are basically, a library has a whole bunch of codes. Now we divide it into multiple modules, smaller parts. So we have to import the parts, only import the parts that we use, and we don't have to import the whole thing. That makes the website much more efficient. So we have the AR button, which will, let me see if I can show it to you here. Inspect. Okay. So this is our app. So you see there's an AR button. It might be hard to see for you. It's not, it's gray on black. It's not very visible. But before you start any experience, you start that button and then ask your users, is it okay if I use your video feed, basically? And that's what it does. And once we import that code, we have to create few things. So you can think of creating a 3D scene is almost like creating a theater performance. We need a scene, and not theater, sorry, it is kind of like video, TV, let's say. We need a camera to say that this is the angle that I'm looking to our scene. So we are kind of the director. Wherever we move, the camera moves. And we have a renderer. You can think of this as what you end up seeing on your screen. If it was print, that will be a printing of an image. And we have some controllers, and then I'm creating a manager for loading the 3D model. We have different formats of models. In this particular case, I'm using the GLTF. GLTF is one of the very common formats. There are other formats like OBJ, which you can use also. And then I'm just creating a variable that says if the model is loaded or not. And this is the loader manager. It has some events. For example, when it starts, I can say manager.onStart and then say like, okay, it's starting now. Maybe you can use this as to show your users some information, what is happening, because loading a model might take some time and you want to let your users know. And we have another function that says onLoad. This means that model is loaded. And now maybe if there's any buttons that you want to add or anything else that you need to do once the model is loaded. We have our own progress. While it's loading, maybe you want to have a loading animation. And lastly, we have the own error event, which means that the URL didn't work and it didn't load. So you can display an error message. First thing we are going to do is initiate our scene. We are going to set up our cameras and loaders and things like that and put everything in init function. And then we have an animate function. This animate function is very important because this runs 64 times per second, and at least try to run 64 times per second, as well as the render. Because that's the speed that our brains are used to seeing things change. So anything that you put inside these two functions will make your application slow. And if you put something that takes so long, your application will crash. So it is very important to not put something that doesn't need to be there. We had the container variable created before, and then I'm just creating an element, HTML element, and then adding it to the body of the HTML. You can just have the div previously there too, but you can add it afterwards. And once we have that, we create the scene. So scene is a JavaScript object that we are creating with a new keyword. So every time we say new 3JS scene, and then we have the brackets, which is the function call, it is creating a new scene for us. And we are creating the same way a perspective camera. There are multiple cameras, but perspective is very default. And we have few few arguments that we have to give to this function. So 70 is the field of view, as far as I remember, which means that the area that you see from the camera. You know, when you're looking through the camera, you don't see exactly what you see because it has a different field of view. That's what it is for. And we give an aspect ratio, which is the inner width of our window. If it's a phone, it's this width, and divided by the height. So this gives us a ratio of the area that we want to put our image and render our image. So why do we even do that? Why don't we just use directly? The reason is that you might want to just use a little box or half of your screen space instead of the whole thing. So that's why it's an option, but it has to always match the width and height of the area that you want to render to. And if the width and height, the ratio doesn't match, what you are going to do, your objects will be distorted. So, and the third one is the near clipping point, which means that anything closer to me, closer than this number, will be not seen by my camera. And anything further than the second number, 20, won't be seen by my camera. So let's say if you created something, everything seems to work, but you don't see the object, that might be because it's either further than the 20 units far, or closer than 001, which is probably not going to happen. It could also be behind you. So look around. And finally, we have a light. If you don't have a light, unfortunately, everything will be black and you won't see anything if you're in a virtual reality environment. In this case, it's kind of optional. It's going to reflect it, going to be only affecting the model that you have. And so our scene is an object that holds everything together. So we have to also add our light and scene, everything to our scene. Once we have all that, we have the renderer. We create the renderer. Anti-aliasing is like, have you seen? If it's not true, it makes things kind of like pixelated. And alpha is for the camera's background being transparent. If you don't have this alpha true, that means that there will be a black background, so you won't see your actual environment behind your application. And okay, finally, we have the WebXR enabled. So this means that the WebXR capabilities that is available on the web is going to be turned on. We add the renderer to our DOM, and we add the button to our DOM. So the reason I'm explaining all this, you don't even have to worry about any of this. You can just start from the example. But in case that anything happens, or next time you want to build something from scratch, you'll know. So we have an onSelect function which will load the model, which means that I want you to click on the screen before I load the model. And this loads it to our application. And when you are building something, you have to also debug. So this is for debugging. We have this really good tool called Inspector. And you opened it up in anywhere. So this is my folder structure. There's images, models, 3JS, index.html. And all of the code that I show you is here. So any changes that you make here will be shown in the application. And we have a README file, and it looks actually like this. And it has some of the information. And it tells us how to run this. First thing is to open a terminal, which in Visual Studio Code, you click Control-Shift-P and create integrated terminal, and it creates one for you and opens up where your application is. And then you will run exactly what's written in here, npm install, and then click enter. It will install all of the libraries that are necessary for this to run. Second, you have to go to the Poly API and then change the create a config file and then put your API key here. So my JavaScript will ask for that file and read the config API key from here. And then to start the server, what you need to do is npm start. I don't know if you could see it, but then it will start doing some stuff, and then it will run a server for you and will say, hey, now you can click on this link, and this is where the application is running. So this is our application, but because AR is not available on normal web because there's no camera, it shows me an AR is not supported. Oh, no. AR is not supported message over here. And what I need to do is, I'm going to do Control-Shift-J. This opens up our developer tools. The other way you could do is you can come to this hamburger menu and then go to More Tools and then Developer Tools. So, okay. So once we do that, there was actually a link here, but now it's a whole thing that you have to open up. And one thing that you need to do is turn your phone developer settings, and it differs from phone to phone. What you can do is go to Android or iOS and look for how to turn on developer settings. And it's such a weird thing to do because, for example, for Android, you have to press like 7 times on a text, which sounds so silly. It's like a secret message. Once you do that, now I can just like plug it into my computer, and then it tells me that USB debugging is connected. Now, now what I'm going to do is port forwarding, which means that this thing that is running locally on my device is going to show up on my phone. It's really hard to show you, but my 3D model is here. I can walk inside it, and also I can see the background. And what this inspector does is that what I'm seeing on my phone, you are able to see it here. And if there's any errors or any issues, you can see it on the console.log.
Sandra was asking if what the command was entered for npm install. It says that hers, her command, well, it says command not found.
Okay, I'll add that information to the slides too. Okay. What you need is Node.js installed in your computer. I totally forgot that part. So Node.js, and you can download recommended for the most people. That will make an npm tool available on your terminal.
Okay, awesome.
I'll add that info.
Thank you. And then there is one more. I can't pronounce his name. But so it says, so with AR, can you project outside models with a web app? Yes,
this is all in the web. Wait, was that a specific question for the headset?
I have no idea.
Well, if that's the case, that's also true. Like you can also see the application on any kind of headset.
Not trying to give too much away, but we were gonna think of doing something with like AR, and if we write it on the web, basically I just don't know if we can like project it like on a phone. You know what I mean?
Yes, exactly. So this example is working on the phone.
Okay, all right, yeah. Sounds good. I don't want to like break down in the middle. Okay, thank you.
No worries. So if you have any more questions, if I'm not on Discord, I'm also like, you can send me a tweet or find me anywhere else, Instagram, ask the question anytime. And anything on my GitHub repository, you can take it and use it, no problem at all.
What was your GitHub link?
github.com/YONET. Good luck with everything. If you have any other questions, like, is this possible? Is this doable? Those kind of questions too, please shoot. I'm so excited for you. I can't wait to see. And if you do build something, please do share with me. I'll be very happy.
Awesome.
Good luck, everyone.
Thank you guys for coming. This was an awesome workshop.